Hello, world. I am your host Mr. Stag. Today, I will be sharing the top 10 banks dominating Europe by assets under management. Number 10. Lloyds Banking Group. Formed through the acquisition of HBOS by Lloyds TSB in 2009, Lloyds Banking Group has 30 million customers and 65,000 employees. The business operates under several brands. These include Lloyds Bank, Halifax, Bank of Scotland and Scottish Widows. The group's heritage extends over 320 years, dating back to the founding of the Bank of Scotland by the Parliament of Scotland in 1695. The bank total assets of $1,189.54 billion US. LYG's current stock price at the time of this video is $2.94 US with a market cap of $52.21 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 42.5% with a fair value price of $5.11 US. LYG currently pays a dividend of 2.5% and it has a payout ratio of 5%. The company revenue was $22.01 billion US. They had a gross margin of 98.91% and a net profit margin of 35.08%, making $7.69 billion US in earnings. Number 9. Intesa Sanpaolo. Formed through the merger of Banca Intesa and Sanpaolo IMI in 2007, this Italian international banking group boasts approximately 14.6 million customers in Italy and 7.2 million customers in Eastern and Central Europe, the Middle East and North Africa through several brands such as CIB Bank, VUB Banca and Bank of Alexandria. The bank total assets of $1,226.44 billion US. Intesa Sanpaolo's current stock price at the time of this video is $2.92 US with a market cap of $57.40 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 11.8% with a fair value price of $3.31 US. They currently pay a dividend of 6.7% and it has payout ratio of 441%. The company revenue was $20.11 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 5.15%, making $1.05 billion US in earnings. Number 8. Deutsche Bank. Founded in 1870, this multinational investment bank and financial services company has a network that spans 58 countries. It is a universal bank with 4 major divisions: investment bank, corporate bank, private bank and asset management. The bank total assets of $1,621.11 billion US. DBS current stock price at the time of this video is $13.85 US with a market cap of $28.38 billion US. The stock is currently overvalued according to Simply Wall Street by 2.8% with a fair value price of $13.47 US. Deutsche Bank currently pays no dividend. The company revenue was $28.30 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 8.52%, making $2.40 billion US in earnings. Number 7. Groupe BPCE. With over 8,200 branches nationwide under their respective brand names and serving almost 70 million customers, this French banking group is considered a systemically important bank by the Financial Stability Board. Formed by the 2009 merger of CNCE Caisse Nationale des Caisses d'Épargne and BFBP Banque Fédérale des Banques Populaires, it provides various deposit, loan and bancassurance products and more to its large customer base. The bank total assets of $1,768.51 billion US. It is France's fourth largest bank, the seventh largest in Europe and the 19th in the world by total assets. The bank is a private bank, so there is no stock price. Number 6. Société Générale. This multinational investment bank and financial services company is France's third largest bank by total assets. The company is a universal bank and has divisions supporting French networks, global transaction banking, international retail banking, financial services, corporate and investment banking, private banking, asset management and securities services. The bank total assets of $1,788.32 billion US. Société Générale's current stock price at the time of this video is $39.09 US with a market cap of $34.17 billion US. The stock is currently overvalued according to Simply Wall Street by 9.2% with a fair value price of $50.14 US. Société Générale currently pays a dividend of 1.6% and it has payout ratio of 13%. The company revenue was $27.09 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 15.68%, making $4.22 billion US in earnings. Number 5. Barclays traces its origins to the goldsmith banking business established in the City of London in 1690, then gaining its renowned name today when James Barclay became a partner in the business in 1736. The company operates as two divisions, Barclays UK and Barclays International, supported by a service company, Barclays Execution Services. It is considered a systemically important bank by the Financial Stability Board. The bank total assets of $1,842.49 billion US. Barclays' current stock price at the time of this video is $12.07 US with a market cap of $49.32 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 2.6% with a fair value price of $12.39 US. BCS currently pays a dividend of 1.8% and it has payout ratio of 9%. The company revenue was $25.09 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 24.92%, making $6.28 billion US in earnings. Number 4. Banco Santander. Spain's largest bank, Banco Santander S.A., operates under the trade name of Santander Group. It is largely known for its banking operations, particularly across Europe, but is a multinational financial services company. Like many of the giants on this list, it is considered a systemically important bank by Financial Stability Board. The bank total assets of $1,844.95 billion US. San's current stock price at the time of this video is $3.60 US with a market cap of $61.35 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 11.3% with a fair value price of $4.06 US. Banco Santander currently pays a dividend of 2.4% and it has payout ratio of 27%. The company revenue was $41.39 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 15.19%, making $6.39 billion US in earnings. Number 3. Crédit Agricole. Crédit Agricole Group is the world's largest cooperative financial institution, consisting of a network of Crédit Agricole local banks, the 39 Crédit Agricole regional banks, and a central institute, the Crédit Agricole SA. The bank total assets are $2,741.77 billion US. Crédit Agricole's current stock price at the time of this video is $15.78 US with a market cap of $49.05 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 21.4% with a fair value price of $20.15 US. Crédit Agricole currently pays a dividend of 5.8% and it has payout ratio of 55%. The company revenue was $23.63 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 20.60%, making $4.91 billion US in earnings. Number 2. HSBC. This multinational investment bank and financial services holding company, deriving its name when it was established by the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation to act as a new group holding company in 1991. HSBC has around 3,900 offices in 65 countries and territories across Africa, Asia, Oceania, Europe, North America, and South America, and around 38 million customers. The bank total assets are $2,984.16 billion US. HSBC's current stock price at the time of this video is $35 US with a market cap of $141.65 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 24.9% with a fair value price of $46.62 US. HSBC currently pays a dividend of 2.0% and it has payout ratio of 40%. The company revenue was $49.52 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 22.98%, making $11.4 billion US in earnings. Number 1. BNP Paribas. BNP Paribas was formed through the merger of Banque Nationale de Paris (BNP) and Paribas in 2000, although its corporate identity descends from its foundation in 1848 as a French national bank. This French multinational banking group is the largest in Europe, operating in 72 countries across 5 continents. It was also known for being fined the largest ever sum as reparation for violating U.S. sanctions in 2014. However, it remains a titan in the market, being one of the 10 largest banks worldwide. The company considered a systemically important bank by the Financial Stability Board. The bank total assets are $3,080.55 billion US. BNP's current stock price at the time of this video is $76.44 US with a market cap of $93.83 billion US. The stock is currently undervalued according to Simply Wall Street by 21.3% with a fair value price of $82.12 US. BNP currently pays a dividend of 3.6% and it has payout ratio of 41%. The company revenue was $49.29 billion US. They had a gross margin of 100% and a net profit margin of 32.74%, making $9.47 billion US in earnings. These top banks will continue to have control over finances in Europe due to their infrastructure, investments in fintech, and their hold on the financial markets. Tell us what you think about the future of banks and banking in Europe in the comment section below. Mr. Stag logging off.